Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Zach Sawyer, and I'll be serving as the chair tonight. This is the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for November 6th, 2023. We will hear the cases in the order they appear on the agenda. First matter of business, citizen comment. Karen? None signed up. All right. The next matter is we're going to need to approve the minutes for October 5th.
Motion to approve. Second.
Second, Tanner. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, next we're going to one announcement. Item 4.1.1, the Oakmont Estate plat vacation will be heard and voted on prior to voting for the consent agenda. And Ashley, we're going to hear from you.
Good evening. My name is Ashley Padilla. This is Oakmont Estates, Lot 286A. The applicant is Hugo Reed and Associates Incorporated, requesting a plat vacation. This property is located east of Slide Road and south of 116th Street in South Lubbock. Here's the current plat. Here's the original plat. And this will be the new plat. Staff recommends approval of plat vacation. Take any questions.
So you're joining 3 lots?
He's joining 2.
2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's 116 with the median. Okay, any questions? All right, if not, we'll need a vote. We'll need a motion.
Motion to approve item number 4.1.1.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, now we'll move into consent agenda. We can hear these separately, we can vote on them all. If y'all have questions, madam.
I don't have any questions. I have not opposed to doing them all together.
Y'all want to vote on it?
Motion to approve consent agenda?
Second.
Second, Jordan, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, Rule 15 plats. We'll hear from staff.
This is Caravan Additions, Tract A1, B1, C1A, and F1. The applicant is Hugo Reed and Associates, requesting a Rule 15 plat with payment delays, located north of 19th Street and west of Upland Avenue in West Lubbock. Here's the submitted plat under review. These are the conditions found from engineering and GIS staff. Staff recommends approval with conditions and pavement delay. I can take any questions.
Questions or discussion? See anything? If not, we'll need a motion.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Second, James, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. 4.2.2.
Hello, Board. I'm Greg Hernandez with the Planning Department. This is Cotton Patch Industrial Park. The applicant is Delta Land Surveying and Engineering for a Rule 15 plat requesting water and sewer delays. The plat is located south of US Highway 84 and east of County Road 2900 in the Lubbock ETJ. Here's the plat. Here are GIS conditions, additional GIS conditions and engineering conditions, additional engineering conditions, right-of-way conditions, and planning conditions, additional planning conditions and Lubbock County conditions, additional Lubbock County conditions, and additional Lubbock County conditions. Staff recommends approval with conditions and denial of water and sewer delays.
So you're denying the water and sewer because they are readily available?
It's in the ETJ,
The ETJ.
so we can't, it's up to the county.
Okay.
Any other questions? We'll need a motion.
Motion to approve with conditions and denial of water and sewer delays.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. 4.2.3. Who wants it?
Okay, this is Happy Trailers, Tract B. The applicant is R2M Engineering, purpose for Rule 15 plat, requesting a right-of-way closure. This property is located south of North Loop 289 and west of Interstate I-27 in North Lubbock. Here's the plat. And here are conditions from engineering and GIS. Additional conditions from GIS, Lubbock Power and Light, planning, and right-of-way. And staff recommends approval of the plat with conditions and right-of-way closure. Take any questions?
Questions? I'll need a motion.
Motion to approve item 4.2.2. Oh, 4.2.3.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Inler Park, 4.2.4.
Good evening, Board. My name is Shane Spencer, and this is Inler Park, Lot 3. The applicant is Hugo Reed and Associates, and it's a Rule 15 plat with request for sewer delay. Here's the plat. Here are conditions from engineering and GIS. Staff recommends approval of the plat with conditions and sewer delay, and I can take any questions at this time.
Any questions? If not, we'll need a motion.
Motion to approve with conditions and sewer delay.
That was Susan. We'll need a second.
Second.
Second, James. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And then our last Rule 15 plat, 4.2.5 Santa Fe Park.
Good evening, my name is Cassie Brimia. This is Santa Fe Park, Tracts 2A, 3B1. The applicant is Hugo Reed and Associates. This is a Rule 15 plat located east of Huron Avenue and north of Marcia Sharp Freeway in West Lubbock. The applicant is requesting approval of easement closure. Here is the plat. Here are the conditions from engineering, GIS, and planning. Staff recommends approval of this plat with conditions and denial of easement closure.
What's the, on the easement closure, what are you denying there?
The drainage waiver.
The what?
The drainage waiver. It's on the comments for engineering, so you can view it.
It's not supported by the city limits.
Can we ask the applicant to come up if he's here?
It's up to the chair.
Yes. Terry, are you here? There you are. I knew you were there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm Terry Holman with Hugo Reed and Associates, 1601 Avenue N. I think Cassie may have got the two issues crossed up. We're not expecting a denial of the easement closures, but we had also requested a drainage waiver, and we've had talked to the engineering department, and yes, we're going to have to submit on that. So that's not a surprise, but not a denial of the closures. We're still working on that application with right-of-way.
Okay.
I'm not sure, because I thought the support, we had support for the easement closures.
So as it's,
Do we not?
as it's written, it's,
Can you go back to that slide?
Yeah, the drainage waiver is not supported, and no contest there, but we're still expecting to close the easements.
so you're fine with it?
As long as you don't say denial of easement closures, that's what I'm asking for. Yeah.
these recommendations come from the engineering department, and I'm looking at their comments, and they did not state anything, whether they were in support or in denial and opposition of the easement closure.
We still have to submit. I mean, we still got to go through all of that process anyway.
So should we not vote on this?
Well, okay, there's one sheet right up here.
Yeah.
Request Blanky underground utility transformer pad switching closure easements is required for electric service within the plat. LP and easements will need to remain on plat and not to be closed.
Yeah, so I've already talked to LP&L about that. And I'm sorry you don't have documentation of that. I don't know what to tell you.
So can we change the conditions?
Well, here's the deal. If easement's gonna be closed, it's gonna come to city council anyway at a later time. So I think you could just approve the plat with conditions and not even have to address the right-of-way issue right now.
I appreciate that because there's a whole other onus we have to go through on all those easement closures.
Okay. Jordan?
So, make a motion of item 4.2.5, recommend approval of the plat with conditions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Now we will move into zone cases. We will hear from staff.
This is not me.
Not in order?
I think we had a couple agendas floating around, but the final one starts with case 1840B.
Okay.
All right. This is zone case 1840B, and the applicant is Matsui Chan Cafes LLC for Dockside Threading Incorporated, and they are requesting a zone change from local retail district C2 to general retail district C3. The subject property is located north of 82nd Street, west of Indiana Avenue in Suite 810, and we have sent 8 notifications, receiving back none in response. Here is the aerial map. There are businesses to the north, south, and east, and apartments and duplexes to the west. Here is a zone map with local retail district C2, general retail district C3 to the north, south, and east, and 2-family district R2 and family apartment district A1 to the west. And the future land use map here designates this property for commercial land uses. Here are photos of the subject and the surrounding property. And this view is from the parking lot. And here are photos from Indiana Avenue. The future land use map designates this area for commercial land uses, and this request does conform to this designation and would be appropriate next to adjacent land uses. The proposed zone change is in conformance with the zoning ordinance. The property is located along a major thoroughfare and is appropriate adjacent to the nearby land uses. And the proposed zone change is compatible with the surrounding area, will not change the character of the development. The location is along Indiana Avenue and is designated as a principal arterial by the Master Thoroughfare Plan 2018. Staff recommends approval of this request, and I can take any questions at this time.
Any questions for staff as of now?
Not as of now.
So it's going from C2 to C3,
Mm-hmm.
and what is the reason?
I believe the purpose for this is sort of cat cafe.
We will in just a minute.
And for the purpose of animals, boarding animals for an extended period of time, C3 designation is required under the new code. Neighborhood commercial is what the C2 is now. That wouldn't be allowed, but under C3, auto urban commercial, that would be permitted.
One other question. This would be only one suite in the whole center that would be changing, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
So the whole building's currently C2, and we're gonna have a little suite that's C3 in there. Okay,
Correct.
that was the image I was looking for. Any other questions for staff?
Not at this time.
Okay, thanks. All right, we'll go ahead, we'll open the public hearing, and is the applicant here? Like to make any additional comment?
I don't know if you guys have any questions for us.
Any questions for the applicant at this time?
Yeah, could you come explain what you're doing?
And if you would, please state your name and address,
Name and what else?
your address.
Oh, I'm Daniel Nelson. Address is 609 County Road 7150 in Lubbock. This is Victoria Montessori, same address. Pretty much we're trying to bring the first cat cafe to Lubbock. They're big all over America right now. They've been popping up. There's 3 in Dallas right now, a couple in Garland down south. But it's pretty much a hybrid of one side is almost kind of like an animal rescue center, but the cats aren't kept in cages. So people get to come in, they pay an admission fee, they hang out with the cats. So instead of them actually going to see a cat in a cage, they get to spend time with the cats and see if it's a better fit for them. Then on the other side, which is actually it's kind of 2 separate buildings, but it's one building, it's gonna be walled off because you can't have food served around animals or anything like that. The other side is actually gonna be a cafe, serves coffee, ice cream, crepes, just small stuff like that. And it's gonna have a glass wall down one side where people can see the cats from the actual cafe. But the actual cat side is for animal rescue. It benefits therapeutically. We're gonna do stuff like painting with cats, partner with Painting with a Twist, where people can come in and paint pictures while the cats run around and stuff like that. But we're just trying to bring the first cat cafe to Lubbock, because there's been some news articles about it for the last couple of years. Another person tried to do it before, but they ran out of funding or whatever it was. But yeah, we're trying to bring one out here to help with the animal rescue and the pet population out here as well. It's really not a money-making thing for us. It's more of a passion project, so there's not a lot of money into it to be made.
Any questions for the applicant? You like cats? You're a cat guy. Any other?
That was the main issue we ran into. I mean, we looked for properties for over a year, and every issue we run into is either the landlord, I had landlords that stayed, they straight hated cats, didn't want anything to do with cats on the property, didn't want any animals on the property, or it wasn't zoned correctly. We finally found this one. That's why we're trying to get the zoning change just on the one specific suite number, not the whole property, because this is pretty much the only, we're trying to stay south of the loop, because I like that area down there. This is pretty much the one property we could find that was south of the loop.
Okay.
So is there a limit on how many cats would be there?
Yeah, there's not going to be more than, I think, 12 in there at one time. And they're going to be supplied by the local animal shelters we're working with, like furry godmothers. And
Are they not staying there?
if like you come in there, you find one you like, we partner you with the adoption agency that has the cat in there. You fill out the adoption paperwork, you go through all the legal stuff to make sure that, you know, that adoption agency wants to give that cat to you. And then once that cat's gone, we put another one in there.
So the cats live there until they're adopted then?
Correct.
What are the codes on this?
In terms of zoning?
Yeah.
I mean, we're considering it like a kennel or a shelter, since the animals are there long-term until they're adopted, which is the need for the zone change.
Okay.
And we were actually planning on building an upscale cat hotel and a suite next door down the road, not right now, so.
Will they be outside at all?
No, it's gonna be like a double door entryway with a vestibule. So like once you go in, the door has to close behind you before you can open the next door, so the cats can't even get out. And then if people wanna go from the food side, they have to go outside, go through that vestibule and go back in. So it's 2 separate areas completely.
You good, Susan?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this zone case? Anyone here to speak in favor? All right, not seeing any hands. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing. And for the
Motion to approve.
Second.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
You want some discussion? Okay.
We gotta have
What do you got?
discussion.
I got discussion. I think it's an idea, unique idea, but I still have the problems of going into a strip center and zoning one spot of it one way where the rest of it's not. We've done this in the past on other things and other issues, and we keep having things come back. And that reason, I'm not gonna be for it.
Okay. Yep, we have had issues with that.
So, question down to the east there, that Reese's Canine, is that a boarding place, or is that
I think it's
just a grooming place? So there's animals in and around, so. I mean, I don't think I personally can't comment on it whether I like cats or not. It has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's me either.
But I'm fine with it, personally.
I think it's just a unique concept that I hadn't heard before, but I do. So it is in that Reese's Shopping Center, so you have the dogs, and then you'll have this, and then Dollar General, correct? Am I
Right.
right? Yes.
I don't know if I can speak, I know you guys asked anybody that was.
No, we closed the public hearing.
Okay.
So I'm sorry.
I just didn't know if I could give any feedback of what a cat cafe is actually like.
I mean, I agree to an extent with you, James, that it's hard to do these one-offs, but for me, it's more if it's a lot greater of a zone change. For this, like, neighborhood commercial to, what is it, are we calling it auto urban?
Mhm.
Is not that far of a stretch to me, so I'm for it.
C2 to C3. Okay. Any other discussion? Anybody else like to add anything from cats?
I'll just piggyback on what Tanner said. It doesn't seem wildly different than what's right around it. So I'm for it.
Okay. We'll call the question. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. Did you get that?
Can we have a show of
Okay,
hands?
all in favor? A show of hands.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
There you go. Okay, it's the first time we've ever had anything about cats up here. I've been doing this a long time. That's interesting. All right, next zone case, 5.2, SD Collaborative.
This is zone case 3491. The applicant is the SD Collaborative for Zephyr Tree Farms, requesting a zone change from Transition District to Commercial District C4. The subject property is located south of Marcia Sharp Freeway and west of Norwich Avenue. We sent out five letters, receiving none back. Here's an aerial view of the property. The east is developed with commercial business. The south and west are undeveloped vacant land. The current zoning is transitional. The northern, western, and southern property is zoned transitional. The east is zoned interstate highway commercial. The future land use map designates this for commercial uses. Here are some photos of the property and its surroundings. Here is a site plan submitted by the applicant for the proposed development. This request conforms to the principles of the future land use map and is in conformance with the zoning ordinance. The proposed zone change is compatible with the surrounding area and will not change the character of the existing development. Located south of Marcia Sharp Freeway and west of Norwich Avenue, the 2018 Master Thoroughfare Plan designates this as a freeway and a local street. Staff recommends approval of this request. I can take any questions at this time.
Any questions for staff? Looks like they have a little small structure on there, but.
I can't see this on the, what's the intent here? What's the drawing of? What's the business? What is it?
The site data summary table says that it's vehicle repair.
For what?
Vehicle repair.
Oh, you're looking for. No? It's for Zephyr Tree Farms.
Yes, it's for the company Zephyr Tree Farms. But on the site data summary table right down here, it says the
Auto repair.
proposed use is, yes, vehicle repair.
Okay. Handheld damage from Gulf Falls.
Yeah. Any other questions for staff? Maybe one more time?
Thanks.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. All right, we'll go ahead and open up the public hearing. Is the applicant here? or his or her representative like to make any additional comment? Yes, ma'am. If you'll please state your name and address.
Margaret Grissom, 216 Cherry Bark Drive, Coppell, Texas.
Jake Seaton, 4336 Marsh Ridge Road, Carrollton, Texas.
Coppell and Carrollton, all right.
So we're looking to do minor auto body repair shop here.
Any questions for the applicant? You can see the two structures. It looks like you have, that's one big structure with several bays. One entrance off of Marcia Sharp, no rear entry. Yeah. Okay, anybody for the applicant? Drove all the way from Dallas for no questions? Somebody. That's good.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
You
stay
should
close.
come here
We'll-
on a
we'll call
lively
on you
night.
if we need. Is there anyone here in opposition to this zone case? Anyone here in favor? Okay, not seeing any hands, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Discussion? Comments, concerns?
For
I've got a-
purposes.
Brandon?
Go ahead,
For
Jordan.
purpose of discussion, move to approve item zone case 3491.
Second.
Brandon?
I would just say consider the location of the driveway here on this one. If you look at the aerial, the drive is gonna allow people, I know it's striped, so they shouldn't, but it's gonna allow people to get out onto the ramp on the Spur 327 going east. That's just concerning for me, the high rate of speed. I mean, I drive that at, well, I won't say what I drive at, but that's a high rate of speed on that frontage road coming around the curve. And folks are going to, because it's a physical gore, they're going to get onto that, that on-ramp there. It's just a bad location. I've seen this several times in the proposed drive, or the drives that are out there. I just don't like the location. And given that there's gonna be a lot of ingress, egress for the type of business.
Cut across to go from the one to go to Milwaukee, to go ahead and go to Marcia Sharp, aren't you?
Yeah. Which it's not anything about the type of business that this is, except for there's gonna be traffic, but it's just that regardless, that driveway's in a bad spot with that proposed, or that on-ramp.
So somewhere, somebody, governing body approved that driveway entrance right there, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
knowing that ramp was there. So somebody approved that, knowing,
Any other? Okay. Anything else? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Brandon. Okay, last zone case. I only have three. 2011-J.
This is zone case 2011-J. The applicant is Hugo Reed and Associates for Wilkerson Investment Company. The applicant requests a zone change from light manufacturing district M1 to high density apartment district A2. We sent out 16 notifications and have received one in opposition and one in favor. The letter in opposition was due to the location not being appropriate near a daycare and manufacturing wholesale commercial business. The letter in favor was received later this afternoon, and it's not in the packet or reflected, on this PowerPoint, but you should have a physical copy. Here is the mail-out notification map. And here's an aerial view of the subject property. The properties to the north and east are currently vacant and zoned Light Manufacturing District, M1. The property to the west is zoned M1, occupied with a child care center to the south, and an apartment complex zoned High Density Apartment District, A2. The future land use map designates this area for commercial land uses. The request does not conform to this designation, however, it is appropriate near a collector street and is adjacent to High Density Apartment District, and thus this request is in moderate conformance with the comprehensive plan principles. Here are photos of the subject property and its surrounding area. Here is a site plan provided by the applicant. The proposed zone change is in conformance with the zoning ordinance, considering the property is located near a collector street and harmonizes well with the adjacent land uses. The proposed zone change is compatible with the surrounding area and will not change the character of the existing development. The location, the property is located east of Justice Avenue, which is designated as a local street, and south of 43rd Street, which is designated as a collector street by the Master Thoroughfare Plan 2018. Local streets typically provide access to smaller destination-oriented areas. Collectors are designated for medium volumes of vehicles operating at a lower speed of 30 to 35 miles per hour. Staff recommends approval of this request, and we can take any questions.
Can you point out the daycare that you talked about?
So, on the west view, DBS daycare,
Right across the street.
it should be.
Thank you. Turn your mic on. What were you saying?
I said, is that behind the shopping center where the street isn't paved?
Because that street's not paved right there.
So if you go out of the back of Sam's into the left, that street isn't paved, right? Am I correct? It's paved?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go ahead, let's open the public hearing. Is the applicant here? Terry, you want to enlighten us a little bit?
Thank you very much. I understand the challenge of trying to figure out where you are back in here. Probably the best thing to look at might be this guy. Now, the photo here is a little chopped. It doesn't show 43rd Street just on the north side of this image. And 43rd is the main spine of the street that connects all the way through Santa Fe Park, all the way from Milwaukee, all the way back over to the Sam's, the old Sam's store, right, which is now At Home. The 50th Street that you were discussing behind the new Sam's, that's well south of us. In fact, at the bottom of this slide, there's an existing apartment site known as the Anatole just to the south of us. South of that is that street that you were mentioning that's back behind the new Sam's, which, yeah, there's a gap in there that for whatever reason didn't get paved. I'm happy to report that our streets are paved. So, with that said, did you have any other questions regarding location before I go off into the weeds here? Very good, thanks. This zone request was made on behalf of Wilkerson Investments because they are the current owner, but our developer on this property is KRS Santa Fe Place LP. That is the group that will be developing these apartments at this location. And if you look at the colors on the zoning map, you might say, well, how are you going to put apartments here in this industrial district? Well, what has happened over time is there's been many things that have developed in this area that are not industrial, and most of those are on our block, quite frankly. And so we've got some apartments that are to the south of us, and which there's another phase of those apartments getting constructed almost all the way over to Milwaukee. So we've got a pretty high concentration of multifamily just to the south of us. There's about a 100-foot old railroad right-of-way that's privately owned between us and the apartments to the south of us. We can't physically connect to them, but there certainly is a visual connection to those other apartment sites. So what you begin to see is when you drive the ground out here that it is beginning to sort of get an energy as a multifamily part of this development. Yes, there is industrial zoning to the north of us. The block that we're on currently has a daycare right across the street from us, has a children's gymnastics facility just to the north of them, and then just to the, which includes, by the way, a doctor's office and a wellness clinic and those types of things. And then just to the west of that is Westwind Elementary. So the way that the old M1 zoning district was written, you were allowed to do those less intense uses up in the M1 district. So it allowed a very wide range of uses, right? And so what we now have realized is as this property is maturing over the years, we're beginning to sense that particularly this area south of 43rd just ain't gonna be heavy industrial by any stretch of the imagination. So it's our goal to do this apartment site at this location. Yes, we did have one letter of opposition. I would argue that one of the points made in that letter was that we shouldn't be across from a daycare. Where else would you want a multifamily besides some facility that could offer support, right, for the young kiddos that might be living at that apartment site? The one person who did object, they're on the northeast corner there. They're really not necessarily directly adjacent to us, and they're backing into us. So if there's any concern about truck traffic or anything, it just doesn't come into play. We've got their fence line and their backside and our backside, and we just never really cross paths, so to speak. So if you look strictly at the colors on the map, it makes you question, but when you drill in and realize what's actually on the ground and how this is actually developing, it begins to make sense that multifamily is what would make sense at this location. I'll be happy to answer, and by the way, we have that letter of support, which I think you've got in your packet now.
Terry, that Ironton, is that Ironton?
Yes.
It's curving, it turns to the southwest. It ties back into Milwaukee at a stoplight, doesn't it?
Yes, Ironton, by the way, Ironton is our second sort of exit out of the property. And yes, Ironton does curve around in front of the other apartments, swings down, turns into 50th Street, south of those apartments. And yes, that connects all the way back over
and
to.
There's a traffic light where it ties into Milwaukee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I bet that's their primary exit, with that elementary school being up there on 43rd.
Well,
traffic will go, I'm guessing, out Ironton.
Well, no, the school is right there at 43rd, and I
know, but to avoid that traffic, you're going to go down Ironton over to Milwaukee, not up across on 43rd to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Ironton goes north and south, 43rd.
Where it turns into 50th.
Ironton, yeah, Mr. Bell, Ironton does swing around. It swings around to the west and becomes 50th Street.
Well, anyways, I'm just working through it in my mind. But-
Yes.
Okay.
So this letter, Terry, this letter from Dr. Barker is 6205 43rd. Can you show us where he is on the map?
This is this rock solid gymnastics. I've come to learn just this evening that that is one of the largest gymnastics facilities around, in the state of Texas. It's huge. And so they operate, the daycare is right here, the gymnastics facility right here, which focuses on kiddos, okay? And then the doctor's office, and by the way, he's the one who owns this facility. His office is on the north end of that, and then the school is over here.
Okay. You got an entrance off Ironton, and then you have an entrance coming down Justice, I guess, or a secondary?
The main entrance, I'll show you the pretty picture. Here's our cul-de-sac. Our main entry is off of that cul-de-sac, so our quasi-residential traffic is going to be accessed off to this cul-de-sac. And then there's a little broken scale on the drawing here, but there's a second way out here that connects over to Ironton. But the main entry is on the cul-de-sac, yes, sir.
How many units is this?
Roughly 110. Yeah, a blend of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units totaling about 110 units. 2-story.
Any other questions for Mr. Holman at this time? Maybe in a little bit?
And I do have the developer here as well. He can certainly answer any questions as well.
All right. Give us just a minute, stay close.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, is there anyone here in opposition to this zone case? Is there anyone here in favor of this zone case? Not seeing any hands. We'll close the public hearing. And for
Move to approve zone case 2011-J.
Second.
discussion, comments, questions for Mr. Holman or the developer or staff?
No, it took me a while to get oriented on it.
Looks like a good site. To me, we're always hearing the downsides of M1 and wanting to get away from M1 and industrial, and this is what we hear from the public all the time. So I think this is a good flip to apartment use right off the bat, right there.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity to get out of M1, and just given the resources across the street, that's a great location for apartments, I think, and the school being there as well. This is probably the only zone case we've had on this piece of dirt since it's been there. It's a good one. Is it not? Don't even bring it up.
It was apartment before. Came back to industrial at some point.
Okay, anything else y'all want to discuss? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. That wraps up the zone cases, and now we have one other business item, which is to review the 2024 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting schedule. And we don't know the Texas Tech football schedule yet, or baseball schedule.
I almost feel like
So
Terry needs to come up for this too.
So here's the schedule that was provided. The only meeting we had to move was in July. July 4th is your first Thursday, so we proposed Monday, July 8th. Do you have any questions?
And we'll have another, opportunity to move these dates whenever
If needed.
football season comes around. It'll come up again. Okay, does anybody have any opposition to that? We're not voting on this.
My only question is, July 8th might be a good day to be on vacation. You take off the 4th on Thursday or whatever, and
Say it
is there a
again?
reason, like the 8th is a Monday, right?
Yes, yes.
So why wouldn't we just move it to Thursday?
The following Thursday, it makes it more difficult for our schedule for the council agenda.
Ah,
Yes.
okay, that's fine then.
Do we have to vote on this? This is just,
Okay.
all
Nope.
right, good.
Okay.
Everybody good with that? Send it. Okay, then we're adjourned.